Long time no see.
Court, how close to 100% do you feel, and how much do you need these practices, these preseason games, to make sure you can be where you need to be for week one?
Shoot, I feel very close to 100%. I think my last percent that I need is, the football aspect, getting tackled. We play a very, physical sport. The rest of the, I've been working my butt off in rehab. I'm not really too much worried about, the routes, the non-contact things. It's the, I haven't been tackled since, September of last year. So this is going to be that's going to be the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to. Not discouraged about that process. Just looking forward to it, Been playing this sport pretty much my whole life. And that's a part of the game that you come to enjoy, when you play for as long as you have, as I have. And, that's going to be the biggest part that I've missed and that I'm looking forward to getting.
Hey, Courtland, obviously the quarterback battle going on. I know you've been limited most of this offseason, but what have you seen out of both those guys that makes you confident that you guys can turn this thing around?
Man, those dudes are working their butts off, from on the field to off the field, building relationships, really diving into, the smallest details of that position. It's a very hard position to play. I think it's one of the hardest positions to play in our sport. And, both of those dudes are taking, the reins and, trying to really hone in on the things that we really need for us to be successful. And, I'm excited for both of those dudes. I think it's going to be a really big camp for both guys. I'm looking forward to, being able to get on the field and actually, catch 7-on-7 passes from them, actually, be in team reps with them. In OTAs, I only got routes on there, which was, fun to be able to do. Coming off of an ACL, not being able to do anything, being able to catch routes from those dudes was a lot of fun. And I see a lot of promise in both dudes. And I think that competition, brings out the best in everybody. And I think that those dudes are, competing their butts off, and best dudes going to come out in the end for sure.
Courtland, this offense has had some trouble scoring the last couple of years. And George Payton told me they missed your juice, they missed your voice last year. Knowing that, how do you frame that with making sure you also stay on the right timetable with your recovery? And do you plan to play in preseason games?
Everyone in the building has been, very open and very communicative, if that's a word, about the process. And everyone's, working together to make sure that we go about this process the best way. And we do have a plan to, play one of the preseason games so that we can get some timing down in-game reps before the season actually starts. And, me being a competitor, I wish I could play in all of them, but, that's not the picture that we've laid out for, this game plan and this timeline. I did miss being able to be on the field with the guys and, bringing that juice and being able to, bring that presence when we get on the field and in the red zone. And, scoring touchdowns is something that wins games. And, when you're not putting up points, it's definitely frustrating for the whole team as a whole. And, I'm looking forward to being able to go out there and, put my best foot forward and, help where I can. And, I feel like I do bring a big presence to, the offense. And, I want to be able to get back to that, as soon as possible.
Yeah, Courtland, there's a lot of buzz about you guys and maybe Aaron Rodgers all offseason. How did you handle it, or what did you think about it as it was going on? And even though you're not getting him, are you at least glad for your own quarterbacks that there's finality to it going into camp?
The entire time that everything was going on, Drew and Teddy were our guys. I never was worried about, who could have been here, who could have not been here. The guys that were here were working their butts off and, doing everything they could to make sure that they were putting themselves in position to help the team be successful. And, Drew and Teddy are our guys, and going into camp, they're the ones that's going to, battle it out for that quarterback position. And I know myself and the rest of the offense and the rest of the team are all looking forward to seeing who comes out on the other side, and also going into, each day of practice, watching those dudes go out and compete. I'm happy for the Packers and what they got going on, and that is what it is.
Hey, Courtland, Tim Patrick had a nice year last year in your absence. What are you looking for him to do this year alongside you? And then with Judy and Hamler, year 2 progression, hopes for those guys?
Man, for KJ and Judy, I don't expect anything less than, them to continue to, climb that tree of being, young talents in the league and continue to, bring a presence of dominance, from our room. And the same thing from Tim Patrick. He's a year older than us, but we kind of, classify him with our class and, watch his progression that he's had from the moment that I met him in OTAs my rookie year to where he is now is amazing. The dude works his tail off every day. He demands a lot out of himself, and I wasn't surprised to see the success he had last year. I'm looking forward to, the success that he continues to have this year and moving forward in his career. Like I said, the guy works his butt off, and he demands a lot out of himself. So to see the success that he had last year was really fun to watch, and I'm really happy for him that the success he had, and the success he's going to have moving forward.
With you not knowing how much you're going to play in the preseason and games, and I guess being limited out here, how valuable will it be going against the 4 corners? That you guys, got 4 starters essentially, especially because you don't really get to go against them in practice once the season starts. Anyone who's known me, I take every rep that I get, whether it's practice, preseason rep, full game rep. I take it very serious, and I take it as an opportunity to go out there and get better. I'm very excited to go against our defense. We have a very stacked secondary. I don't think that, there's going to be too many secondaries that I'll get to go against, whether preseason or regular season, that'll be as stacked as ours. So every rep I get in practice is going to be just as valuable as, a mid-season game rep. And I'm looking forward to it. All those dudes are, high caliber DBs, and it's going to be exciting to get to work with those dudes and stacking those days.
Hey, Courtland, good to see you back here. We missed you last year talking to you. Tell me, how important is it to the locker room that the starting quarterback is named sooner rather than later, so you can all kind of get behind the guy and get not only your reps, but just kind of mentally get behind one of them?
Whenever they decide to, make that call of who's going to be the starter, we'll rally behind that guy. But as of right now, those dudes are in a very, tight quarterback battle. And I think it's important for, us as an offense to rally behind both of those guys until, they decide to name the starter. And it's, I'm looking forward to being able to go out there and work with both of them, just as, I'm pretty sure the rest of the receivers are looking forward to going out there and work with both of them. They both bring unique abilities to the game and to that position. And, whenever the starter gets named, they'll get named, and, we'll rally behind them and, go out there and win some games.
Veterans in the league oftentimes talk about how leadership is sort of an evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
You learn a couple things about that new each year. How are you kind of viewing yourself in that role in 2021, and what are some of the things you want to do to grow within that role?
I've had some really good guys in my room that I've been able to, follow behind. Emmanuel Sanders and Marius Thomas are 2 guys that I vouch for very heavily, and that have taught me a lot of important things of how I carry myself as a receiver and as a vet in the locker room. And I think that it's very important to have that presence in the locker room. It gives guys someone to go look up to, and someone to say, this is a person that we can go to that understands what it takes, understands what is important in the moments, especially getting when it gets crunch time in the regular season, and that final stretch pushing the playoffs. Having not just one, but having a group of guys that say this is the standard and we refuse to fall underneath it, and bringing everyone up, along with it. And for myself, I've always been I can show you better than I can tell you. So how I carry myself is very important into showing what our standard is and what we won't fall under. Then I hold myself to a high standard, and you know, I try to carry myself in a way that exemplifies, you know, what we will not fall under as a standard. So, yeah.
Court, you're going into a contract year. George said you're a core guy. They want to keep their core guys. So first to you, how important is it to you to continue your career here? And then how much do you allow yourself to think about that whole process during the season?
You know, if I can be a Bronco for life, that would be, you know, the thing that I would love to be able to do. However, I know that comes with, you know, consistent work. You know, it's not just going to be something that's handed to me. I have to go out there and, you know, prove to, you know, not only myself, but to my teammates, to Mr. Payton, the rest of the team, the rest of the guys upstairs that, you know, I deserve that. It's not something that's just handed out, and it's my job to go out there and prove that, you know, day in and day out, and that's exactly what I'm going to go do. Appreciate y'all.